grab your boards. Welcome all surfers to Wavy's Atlantic Ocean. Surf, 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 baby. You wanna surf on the tidal wavy? Yeah, yeah. Twerk, baby. For certain, she moving so perfect. Surf, baby. You wanna surf on the tidal wavy? Twerk, baby. I'm loving the way that you surf it.
All my niggas, they gangbang, and all they niggas do the same thing. Counting money, living insane. Steady mobbing, let my flag hang. Told them I'm ready, I'm ready. I'm throwing them monster like Randy. I know that these niggas can't stand me, but the automatic come in handy.
Yo, you already know it's ATM Wavy, aka Mr. OMG, and you know it's me in this Wavy's world. Salute to all the surfers, you already know. It's another Surfing Nation situation, you feel me? Alright, I'm gonna y'all get ready to hit that like. Yeah, hit that like for the guy. Hit the comment section too, cause I know y'all gonna have something to say about this one. And hit that sub so you can holler at the blood, the Surfing Nation. Yeah, we waiting. But check it out though. I'm gonna end up moving this party to the room, but before I move it to the room, or should I say to the wave cave, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I got all this paperwork that's going to explain why Bricc Baby got his bail, because Luce Cannon got his denied too, but this is gonna be about Bricc Baby, all right? Luce Cannon, we already know his situation. He's tied in with this Rico. The chances of him getting the bond with the way he move and his antics and his supposed role, kind of figure that for him. Bricc Baby is not on the case with him, but he still got like he got some play with their case, even though he's not with. Like he could definitely, I mean, volunteer some things if he wanted to. But this is the breakdown for his situation, because a lot of people may not know exactly what Bricc Baby history is, you know what I'm saying? Like where he's coming from and how far back his criminal history really go. So now we're gonna take this show and we about to go. All right, we about to get into this P work, you know what I'm saying? This P dub and all that, you feel me? All right, so as y'all can see, you know what I mean? This right here is Bricc Baby's paperwork, and this paperwork is the paperwork pertaining to the bail hearing that him and Luce Cannon, who also been denied, was this is basically what was presented. All right, so boom, see here, United States of America versus Zaire Mitchell, aka Bricc Baby, Big Shitty, NPA, Shit Tro, so on and so forth, his aliases. All right, so we're gonna get to where it actually starts. All right. All right, boom. Right here, the introduction states, defendant Zaire Mitchell asked this court to be released pending trial, arguing that a secure property bond is sufficient to reasonably assure his appearance and the safety of any other person or community. To the contrary, defendant's criminal history shows a dedication to crime and recidivism. Damn, I might have slayed that one, y'all. That joint was like a tongue twister. But basically just meaning his likelihood to do the same thing over and over, constantly commit crimes. All right, no matter what the consequences. Moreover, his conduct during the investigation in this case shows the same dedication to a life of crime and inability to comply with the rule of law. The indictment first alleges that defendant, in shooting at individuals, possessed ammunition expelled from a firearm on July 12, 2022. Then on June 21st, 2023, defendant was captured on an intercepted call arguing with his significant other, in which she repeatedly recounted that defendant had pointed a gun at her while she was holding his infant child. Wowzer. Execution of a search warrant at defendant's home followed, and 3 firearms, including an AK-47 style gun and over 125 rounds of ammunition, were found. After law enforcement seized those weapons and arrested the defendant, he continued undeterred. In March 2024, the defendant erupted at his place of employment, threatening individuals in the room and online with death, fighting security, and later admitting to possessing a firearm during that incident. That's when he was putting kill squad in the streets. Throughout 2024, defendant made claims online of murdering people and threatening to do the same to others. Then on March 18, 2025, the day before his arrest in this case, defendant went on a live video podcast with someone whom he had previously threatened to kill. Now, that's talking about when him and Luce Cannon appeared on No Jumper right before all this happened, all right? Boom. During the podcast, sitting across from that person, Luce Cannon, defendant brandished, next page, a firearm in his waistband. So this is when he had leaned back, and the black object at his waist, they're alleging that was a firearm. Could have been a phone, could have been whatever, but they're alleging that it's a firearm. Alright, boom, let's see. Alright, when defendant was arrested the following day, an unsecured firearm with multiple magazines of live ammunition matching that seen in defendant's waistband on the podcast were found where defendant was staying with his young child. Basically, they're saying they found the same alleged firearm that was supposedly on his waist. When they ran down on him, they supposedly found that same one, or found one matching. You know what I mean? That's similar to what they believe was a firearm. Anyway, all of the above conduct occurred after years of violent crimes, firearm possession, evading charges, and troubling conduct disseminated throughout the internet. Defendant's lengthy period of incarceration and supervision have not deterred him from continuing to commit dangerous crimes. There is no reason to believe this arrest will be any different, and the safety of the public demands that defendant remain detained. So of course, prosecutors was pushing, for his bail to be denied. Statement of facts. A, defendant is intercepted discussing criminal activity, including pointing a firearm at his partner and child. In the first several months of 2023, defendant was intercepted on multiple court-authorized Title III wiretaps. Both of his phones and his associate's phone. On multiple calls, defendant discussed criminal activity. Throughout March 2023, defendant discussed how the mother of one of his children accused him of pointing a gun at her, and defendant claimed it was a lie. But on June 20th, 2023, a second person accused defendant of the same conduct. That day, defendant's significant other, KC, stated, "You pulled the gun out on me with your daughter. You pulled the gun out on me in front of your fucking daughter. You pointed a gun at me with your bitch ass." She was going in. Defendant responded, "I don't give a fuck, nigga." Oh wait, hold on. I gotta try to say it like a Brick Baby. Defendant responded, "I don't give a fuck, nigga. I don't give a fuck, bitch." I'm probably not even doing it right. "Ever since I've been with you." Alright, next page. Oh wait, that don't look like that was supposed to go next, but it is. "Ever since I've been with you." Why did it end it like that? I guess he was saying, "I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, bitch. Ever since I've been with you." What? That's weird. Maybe it's me. I was hitting the Usama Honda before I started reading it, so maybe I'm tripping. Y'all let me know. The following day, defendant argued with Casey again about her picking up her daughter, ordering her to take the fucking baby outside. You stupid bitch. You sit in the house all day, you dumbass hoe. Casey told defendant she could not walk or drive because defendant fucked up her leg and that he was the one who hit on people. What? I'm just lost. You know he be taking perks. I feel like something's wrong with the way he was talking. Like, defendant responded, man, on 6-0. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Wow. I just told you, nigga. You keep playing with a nigga. You just want to see a nigga. Defendant told KC to leave and said that they were done. On the same day, KC again stated, it's so fucked up that you can't even apologize for the shit that you do. You've never apologized for treating me bad, pulling a gun out on me like this. Shit is cool for you. But you want me to go do shit for you. You talking about you don't want me, shit you got going on, but you gonna pull a gun out on me and my child though, right? Defendant responded, on 6-0. Yeah, you don't get, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't. On 6-0 crip, nigga. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I probably read that like a kindergarten because like it was throwing me off the way the dialogue was going. I mean, but anyway, so now we in section B. All right, firearms and ammunition are recovered from defendant's home. So these like chapters, like many chapters basically. Boom. So now, following the above mentioned calls, talking about, you know, the call that they were just talking about with him arguing with the baby mother and all of that. Following the above mentioned calls, law enforcement obtained search warrant for the defendant's home, car, and person. Inside his home, law enforcement found the 3 firearms and ammunition listed in count 2 of the indictment: a .380 caliber pistol, a 9mm caliber pistol, a 5.56 by 45 caliber assault rifle style firearm, and over 125 rounds of ammo. Defendant tried to drop some of the firearms and ammunition from his balcony into the courtyard of his, and then it just go blank. 6-0 is a reference to defendant's self-proclaimed gang, the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip. Okay, yeah, I'm sure we all knew that though. Next. Apartment complex just as he, okay, so now let me go back because I see how they did that. All right, so remember they said defendant tried to drop some of the firearms and ammunition from his balcony into the courtyard of his apartment complex, just as he previously stated that he would on another intercepted call. So now we at C. So on that one, you know what I mean, they ran down, found guns and all of that. You know what I mean? He tried to get rid of it, allegedly. Boom. C. Defendant is recorded on intercepted calls making other admissions. Throughout the remaining period of wiretaps, defendant made countless assertions or threats pertaining to violent conduct and weapon possession. For example, on February 20th, 2023, defendant stated that he did not respect the elders in the gang and would pop anyone on 6-0. On March 6, 2023, defendant was on the phone with his mother, the proposed surety. What? The proposed surety. Yeah, that little weird. I never seen that word part, and so I took college level English. I don't know. I don't remember this word though. So the proposed surety here. Y'all let me know what that means in the comment section. And found the mother of his child outside of his house. He told his mother that the mother of his child was in gangland and wanted to expire early. Defendant asked the mother of his child if she wanted to die in front of her son on 6-0. As defendant's mother screamed at him to stop because he was being recorded. All right. On March 6, 2023, Defendant told KC that the police were acting stupid, that he was tired of doing what they told him to, and that he was ready to shoot the mother of his child. Whoa. Later that day, defendant told another unidentified male that he can kill the mother of his child on 6/0. On March 28th, 2023, defendant said that he would body slam the mother of his child on her neck to stop playing with him. I ain't mean to very loud, but I already seen what that was just starting off. That's like he would body slam. That is about to go WWE in that mode. In the same call, defendant discussed how it felt to kill someone and have to go to school and play basketball the next day. Nah, man. So now we at D. Boom. In addition, read the title. Defendant continues to threaten violence and carry firearms. In addition to the intercepted calls online, defendant continued to threaten violence, carry firearms, and discuss both. For example, in March 2024, defendant crashed out at his place of employment, threatening to shoot people and eventually fighting a security guard. Defendant later admitted in a separate interview that he had a firearm on him during the altercation and that he brought his daughter with him to the studio. Once again, they mentioned this earlier. I read it, but they meant bringing it up again. This is when he was putting Kill Squad in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Sticks in the chat. You feel me? Next. In June 2024, defendant argued over the phone with an individual and claimed that he had killed more people than the other had fought. Defendant stated that he swore it to be true on his 4 babies, which he repeated many times. And later attempting to downplay this claim, defendant stated that even if he had one murder, that would be more than the other person had fights. That's when he was saying, I got more bodies than you got skulls. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got more skulls than you got squabbles. Basically, yeah, that's what he was saying that. I mean, boom. On March 18th, 2025, the same individual who defendant previously threatened and claimed to have more skulls than he had squabbles, what are you talking about, joined the same podcast. Once again, they mentioned this earlier. It's talking about with him and Luce Cannon was on a pod on No Jumper together right before all this happened. During the filming, defendant showed that he had a handgun in his waistband. So they showing what they claim to be the handgun. And if y'all looking and not just listening, it's an actual picture showing right now a Bricc Baby sitting down. And that's supposed to be a parent. Alright, boom. Next. They got another picture. Ooh, they got another picture. Ooh, they got the angle. I did not know they. Ooh, that hurt right there. I wasn't expecting to see that. I thought they were gonna leave it at that picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be. You know what I mean? I'm trying to. You feel me? When it comes to the details, but it's like, yo, you got a picture like that right there, man. It's like, look, I'm just gonna exercise my right to remain silent on that one. Let's go. E. Defendant is charged with repeatedly possessing a firearm and ammunition despite numerous felony convictions. Alright. Defendant is now charged with multiple counts of possessing firearms and ammunition, all in violation of 18 U.S.C. 922G. The first charge stemmed from defendant shooting 3 bullets in the business parking lot in July 2022 to ward off would-be robbers. The second charge involved all of the firearms and ammunition found at his home in June 2023. Both of these charges followed 5 felony convictions from 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, and 2020, respectively, while the pre-trial services report includes a longer criminal history with out-of-state convictions. Alright, so now we're at F. The morning of defendant's instant arrest, he had an unsecured firearm and ammunition in reach of his young child. On March 19, 2025, law enforcement arrested the defendant on a felony possession charges in the indictment at his residence in Gardena, California, with his significant other and young child. Agents found a Glock 26 firearm and 17-round magazine with 16 rounds of 9mm ammunition, as well as another magazine and 16 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Whoa, I just kind of almost freaking glitched out right there, you feel me? Defendants kept all of that unsecured despite residing with his significant other and child he had already threatened with a firearm before. Despite being arrested with all the firearms and ammunition at his residence in June 2023, despite his many felony convictions prohibiting him from possessing firearms or ammunition, and despite California Penal Code 32310 prohibiting possession of large capacity magazines, those that hold more than 10 rounds. So I guess out there in California, your firearm can't hold more than 10 rounds. I'm in the A. It's extended all day. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, we at G now. Defendant's criminal history is full of balance and supervision violations. As shown in the pretrial services report and the indictment itself, defendant's multiple firearm and ammunition possession charges in this case are far from defendant's first crimes. 2006, narcotics and obstruction of law enforcement. Almost 20 years ago, defendant earned his first felony from a narcotics distribution conviction, while he was also charged with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers by use of threat or violence. He was sentenced to 10 years probation and given a second chance with community service and schooling conditions. Number 2, 2010, reckless evading involving assault with a deadly weapon. In 2010, defendant's criminal charges escalated with a charge of assault with a deadly weapon with great bodily injury likely and conviction for evading a peace officer with disregard for safety. Defendant was sentenced to 365 days in jail and 3 years probation, a violation of which resulted in 2 years of confinement. According to the certified conviction records and police reports for the original crime, police saw a sex worker enter defendant's car and defendant then sped off upon seeing police. Defendant led police in a high-speed chase through stop signs and red lights. At some point, defendant pushed the female out the moving vehicle. He is wicked. Wait, didn't Gucci do that too to somebody? I think Gucci Man did that too. The victim landed on her face. Oh my God. On her face, and defendant ran over her thigh with his car. God damn, Brick. What? Bro. The victim later stated that she asked to be let out multiple times, but defendant refused until he later threw her out. The victim also stated that defendant said he had something he needed to get rid of during the chase and threw a handgun out the window. Now we at number 3. 2012 to 2014, narcotics convictions. Upon his release in 2012, defendant was arrested for transportation of controlled substances and ultimately sentenced to 365 days in jail and 3 years probation. That probation was later revoked after defendant admitting to violating it. 5 months after that arrest, but before that sentence, he was arrested for the same crime in Nevada and ultimately sentenced to 4 years probation. In 2013, he was arrested for and by 2014 convicted of possession of a controlled substance. Defendant later received misdemeanor relief for that conviction, but he thereafter violated his probation. Son was bugging. 4, 2016 criminal threats conviction. On August 2nd, 2016, the defendant was convicted of criminal threats and sentenced to 2 years in state prison. Although he was given yet another opportunity with a suspension of the execution of the sentence and 3 years formal probation, he violated that probation multiple times, even receiving a no bail bench warrant for his failure to appear for a violation hearing. Number 5, 2020, robbery conviction. On October 7, 2020, defendant was convicted of a robbery and sentenced to 6 years imprisonment. This arrest also featured a high-speed chase and barricade incident that defendant glamorized in his music. So I guess that's the still clip from that, yeah, so they showing a still clip from that situation. Boom. Number 6, misdemeanors, arrest, and other conduct. As a juvenile, defendant was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, robbery, and minor in possession of a weapon. He was further arrested. He has further arrest for narcotic sales, many failures to appear in multiple states, obstruction, multiple felon in possession charges, false statements, flight, assault with a deadly weapon, multiple fugitive from justice warrants, inflicting corporal injury on spouse, criminal. My bad, somebody was trying to call. Inflicting corporal injury on spouse, criminal threats, and multiple robberies. Defendant also has misdemeanor convictions and an infraction involving arrest for taking a vehicle without consent, driving on a suspended license, and domestic violence. Brick, bro, it sound like you like putting your hand on women and everything. Oh, I just peeped in the news clip. I ain't even peeped. That's him with his highlighter as a jacket on and these neon red ass pants, looking like, I don't know what he looking like. Like, son, you want to make sure you were seen, bro. Like, you look crazy, nigga, like a two-tone highlighter marker. But yeah, let's go. All right, so number 7, defendant's fraud crimes. Defendant's crimes do not pertain only to violence and weapon possession. Defendant is currently under investigation for fraudulently applying for FEMA benefits by claiming to be a renter of a property in Pasadena, California, destroyed in the Eaton fire in January 2020. Moreover, in his digital devices seized during his previous arrest, defendant was in possession of multiple social security numbers, addresses, and other personal identifying information that he had bought on WhatsApp. Defendant even had a photograph of a driver's license with his photograph, but a different name, address, and state. Yeah, I was about to say something. I'm not even gonna say it. Next, H. Defendant was detained based on risk of flight and danger. On March 19, 2025, this court ordered defendant detained pending trial based on risk of non-appearance and danger to the community. This court found detention to be appropriate based on defendant's history and characteristics, including his criminal record of fugitive arrest and violating parole and probation conditions, as well as insufficient bail resources and defendant's safety risk to the nature and seriousness of the instant charges in his criminal history, which includes numerous convictions, some of which were violent. So now we're on to 3. All right, this is the argument. Boom. Legal standard for pretrial detention. A defendant must be detained pending trial where no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the appearance of the person as required and the safety of any other persons and the community. Detention and thus appropriate for a defendant who is either a danger to the community or a flight risk. United States versus Matamedi, whatever, and that happened in 9th Circuit Court. The Bail Reform Act mandates an individualized evaluation guided by the factors articulated in Section 3142G. United States versus Diaz Hernandez, 943F3D1196. Yeah, 9th Circuit Court. Those factors are the nature of the circumstances of the offense charged, including whether the offense is a crime of violence, the weight of the evidence against the defendant, the defendant's character, physical and mental condition, family and community ties, past conduct, history, relating to drug or alcohol abuse, criminal history, and the nature and seriousness of the danger to any person or to the community that would be posed by the defendant's release. All right. United States versus Windsor, Ninth Circuit Court, consideration non-statutory factors of disfavor. They just referencing cases. This what they do. You know what I'm saying? And same thing you do if you get incarcerated, hit that law library. That's all I could say. You know what I mean? That law library would be your friend. You smell me? All right, boom. So now we on B. Defendant should remain detained. All right. All of the 3142G factors justify ordering defendant to remain detained pending trial. Nature and circumstances of the offenses. The nature and circumstances of defendant's offenses unequivocally weigh in favor of detention. Defendant's offenses possessing multiple firearms on multiple occasions and over 125 rounds of ammunition, some of which he fired, are serious. That defendant fired at would-be robbers in the business parking lot and less than a year later was found with firearms at the purportedly, wait, what? I think that's a typo. I think that's a typo. Y'all see this screen? I don't think I'm bugging. Oh, I don't know what I'm about to do right there. I don't think I'm bugged, but after, maybe that supposed to have been purpose? No. Maybe that is a real word. Hey, just that one surety, that word earlier. Yeah, I remember because I'm gonna look it up anyway. But y'all hit that comment section about this, if this is even spelled right. Purportedly, that don't even sound right, but I could be bugging. Know what I mean? But anyway, he was found with firearm after purportedly pointing them at his partner and child. Only confirmed that the defendant should not be possessing firearms. Not two, and I think that was okay. Not to mention his multiple prior felony convictions, each of which alone prohibited him from possessing them. His continued possession of another firearm and even more ammunition at home with his child during his latest arrest only further corroborates the need for his detention. Moreover, defendant faces a statutory maximum of 15 years for each count. Wowzer. Let's see, 18 USC 922. As currently charged due to defendant's extensive criminal history, likely rendering him in criminal history category 5, and with enhancement for the type and number of firearms and obstruction of justice, defendant faces a likely guideline range of 92 to 115 months imprisonment based on a total offense level of 24. Below are the guidelines calculations based on the information currently known. Base offense level 23 firearms plus 2, obstruction plus 2. That's how they got 24. Boom. And for y'all that don't know, the feds deal with a point system. Just so for those that probably don't know why they adding up points. That's how the feds be coming. Them points, woo, dictate a lot. It's like night and day compared to depending on where your points at and the next person points, you probably look like, yo, how he only get that? Yeah, points matter. Alright. The severity of the potential penalties involved augments defendant's risk of non-appearance. See United States versus Brenneman, affirming denial of bail based on risk of non-appearance, with defendant facing fraud charges that expose him to a range of just 57 to 71 months imprisonment. As courts have recognized, such a lengthy sentence provides, as stated, defendants. It say provides. It didn't stop. Okay, I guess it's gonna continue on the next one. I don't know. But as stated, defendant discussed on an intercepted call, placing his firearms in a bag and dropping them into the courtyard outside his apartment, which he then attempted to do when law enforcement arrived. United States versus Shipley. Wow, that last name, that's crazy that say that. But for those that know, and some of y'all viewing is actually gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel me? Y'all wanna know why. But anyway, obstruction of justice enhancement was warranted in sentencing defendant for knowing possession of a firearm as a convicted felon, with defendant asked his wife to hide or get rid of firearm found at residence. So basically just saying, these are just all the points they proving why they need to dub Bricc Baby's bond. All right. So next, significant incentive to flee, and given defendant's criminal history category, he is facing a guideline sentence of nearly 10 years. All right. United States versus Townsend, explaining that facing that much graver penalties possible under the present indictment, the defendant having a greater incentive to consider flight, and noting that electronic monitoring cannot assure prevention of non-appearance. Boom. Basically saying that much time, nigga might get scared, especially if he convinced he gonna get convicted, and try to hit the Mario hop right up out of here. Boing! You smell me? So, yeah. And even though the monitoring, which I believe that was a part of his package, he offered to be electronically monitored, they basically like, nigga, you could still slide, bro. Like, it's tricks and ways. I guess that's what they saying, and you got enough time to get up out of here. Boom. So where was I? Oh, election monitor non-apparent. Okay, boom. It is entirely reasonable to conclude that a flight or risk is more likely in circumstances where evidence indicate that defendant faces a substantial risk of being convicted of serious pending charges and receiving significant punishment. Defendant's previous evading and flight from law enforcement, as well as his repeated fugitive arrests, failures to appear, and parole violation confirmed the same. In sum, the nature, and when I say in sum, is SUM. You know what I mean? Basically, the total, to round everything up. All right. In sum, the nature and circumstances of the defendant's offenses demonstrate that he is a risk of both danger and non-appearance. Then say weight of evidence. I believe this is the last page that I have, because because it say page 20 at the very top. Y'all can't see it, but I can see it. Say page 20 out of 25. So I'm just gonna finish the rest of this page, but there's very no need for the other five joints. We see what they're basically doing, and I read the most important things anyway. But weight of evidence, which is number 2. The evidence that defendant committed the charged offenses is overwhelming and cannot be ignored in assessing defendant's risk of danger and non-appearance in this case, United States versus Aslanian. I think I pronounced that person's name right. Given the nature of the crime and the strength of the government's case, we find that government has met its burden of showing by clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions would reasonably assure that the safety of the community, emphasis added. All right. So basically saying it cannot reasonably assure the safety of everybody, of the people, you know what I'm saying, if they let Bricc Baby out because of, you know, his past history. And then he has been messing up for a long time. You feel me? Violating conditions and all that. So, you know, what you do in the past, it tends to come out in the future. You feel me? And then before it cut off, it say defendant was captured on audio recording discussing firearms and other crimes, what they spoke about. So they basically gonna go and repeat the same thing over again, but they're just like kind of going into the ending. So we don't even gotta say it. I don't even need the other pages. Y'all see what's going on. Y'all see what went on. And this is why Bricc Baby got his bail denied. Luce Cannon got his bail denied too. But for his is obvious reason. See, for a lot of people, they didn't know his Bricc Baby's past. Alright. So for those that didn't know, now you gotta peek in. Alright. So Luce Cannon is clear cut why they ain't let him out, because he's tied directly into the RICO, the big dog. You know what I'm saying? Once again, Bricc Baby's on the case by himself. Alright. But of course, if he wanted to volunteer information to help out that RICO, that could help out him. Hopefully he don't do that, you know what I'm saying? But somebody's going to do it. Don't know, it could be him, Luce Cannon, one of the other people that's not as famous that you don't hear people talking about. Big, you the only one that really, who is he? He can't tell nobody. He's the target. But outside of that, it's fair game. And one thing I know about the feds, about me having been in the feds, but knowing a lot about how the feds go through people that has been to the feds, the first one to come for the deal gets the best deal. You feel me? That's how it works. So we're gonna see what happens. You know what I mean? And of course, it's freedom, them guys. You know what I'm saying? Things shaky. You got the feds on you. It's not going to be a walk in the park. And their conviction rate is what it is for a reason. Mind you, a lot of that is dudes not even trying to take the chance and going to trial. So they cop out, and that go under that conviction too. So don't think all of that conviction come from trials being won. Nah, us dudes that done been through the system, we tend to cop out. I sure have. You feel me? I ain't never been in the trial. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, y'all niggas, I know it's y'all got me. Why am I gonna fight him? You know what I'm saying? I ain't might even play that type of game. You know what I'm talking about? But there y'all have, you feel me? So this was a little different style. I'm gonna keep experimenting with it because, you know, I got the whole setup. Y'all see the lights, y'all see the Jersey W, y'all know what time it is, and that's handmade by me, for sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you could rub that. I mean, that shit soft. I mean, that shit hella soft. You know what I'm talking about? But y'all already know though, man. This ATM Wavy, aka Mr. OMG, and of course y'all know it's me in this Wavy's world. As always, salute to all of you though, man. Cause if y'all ain't pulling up to watch this, what am I doing? You know what I'm talking about? Like, so I gotta show my appreciation for every last one of y'all. Even the one that don't sub, it's smooth. I watch people's stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I don't sub to everybody. I would appreciate it if you do. So of course, hit that like if y'all liked it. You know what I'm saying? And hit that basement. Yeah, that's the comment section. You feel me? Let me know what y'all think. Y'all point of view on all of this. You feel me? Because I'm gonna be covering this content for a minute. You know what I'm saying? This is just the beginning, and it's trending, so we gotta get on. You know what I'm talking about? And of course, I need y'all to hit that sub so y'all can holler at the blood. You feel me? Join the Surfer Nation because we waiting. You know what I'm saying? And it's open invitations. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be a creep. You feel me? Just don't be a creep. I know some weirdos. You know what I'm saying? There's some weirdos surfing around here. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I ain't got a board for no weirdos. But for the haters and trolls, I got boards for y'all too in the pre-owned section, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I got you though. You smell me? So anyway, you already know me, man. You know what I'm gonna say when I speak. Last but not least, always look both ways before you cross that street, cause you might get hit.
But if the boy tall slick, I'ma